It's time for Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level.
It's going to take a grind. It's going to take a mindset to where we know it's a grind each and every week. Everybody's going to come for you, and you got to be ready to step up each and every play.
Just going through the ups and downs of the season and coming out, making the playoffs, winning some crucial games, and just understanding, what it's going to take our game to the next level. So we're not just making the playoffs, but we're winning playoff games.
And here we go. How you doing, everyone? I'm Russ Salzberg, and welcome to Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level. Our Big Blue season preview as the G-Men head into the 2017 NFL campaign.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Castiglione. After completing the preseason, the Giants prepare to kick off the regular season next Sunday against their rivals, the Dallas Cowboys.
But in order to move forward with the 2017 season, members of the Big Blue really, to a man, believe they need to look back to last season's final game, that crushing 38-13 playoff loss to the Packers at historic Lambeau Field.
It stays with you the entire time, the entire offseason. When you're waking up on those days and you're wondering why you're doing it, you want to stay at home with your family. But come January, you just got to know you don't want that feeling again. You don't want to be sitting at home watching the playoffs, knowing you guys didn't put forth your best effort.
After that game, I just sat back and watched all the fans and saw how excited they were and how insane the atmosphere was. I want that. I want that in MetLife Stadium next year. I want our fans to experience that.
We begin with the Big Blue offense, disappointing at times a year ago, but heading into a new season loaded with potential. And according to the Giants' two-time Super Bowl MVP, offensive success starts with a pretty basic formula.
We got to be able to run the ball and throw the ball. We can't be one-dimensional. We got to be able to, whatever the defense is doing, we got to be able to attack their weaknesses. And so I think, you never know what that's going to be each week, but we got to, be getting positive yards every play, convert on third downs, don't turn the ball over, play smart, and do better in the green zone. But overall, we got to score more points.
The Giants have assembled a talented trio of receivers in an effort to generate more points, featuring a guy many consider the best in the game at the wideout spot in Odell Beckham Jr.
I grew up watching Brandon and Odell. I've played with him last season, got to see him firsthand and how he works. So yeah, just to be a part of that group is a blessing, and we had a new addition with Ingram, who's great in and out of breaks, fast guy, pretty big too, so it's going to be a good one.
A big part of that offensive balance will be generated by a running game by committee, featuring Paul Perkins, Shane Vereen, and Orleans Darkwa.
We're all competing right now. I mean, it's a title. Coach can easily pull me out after the first play, and I could be the starter but only play 2 snaps a game. So I'm competing for reps, competing for plays. So I'm just out there going against the best of the best.
Toss to Perkins, and he's just running right through Washington.
Paul did a great job coming on late last year, and I think he has that speed, and he does a great job making that first guy miss, and that's what the great running backs do.
We have to be able to run the ball to take some pressure off of that and really open up this offense. And I think bringing in guys like Rhett Ellison and blocking tight end, we have a true fullback now. It's going to help us get in multiple formations and really give the defense different looks.
Little chip on the offensive line's shoulders this year after taking some criticism last year, fair or unfair, because there were some injuries. But is there something you guys want to prove to fans and the rest of the league?
We've had a chip on our shoulder this whole time. We got to continue to go out there and prove that we can get the job done. We can protect the quarterback, keep Eli upright, and then open up lanes to run the ball. And then obviously at the end of the day, open up even more lanes for Odell, Brandon Marshall, Sterling Shepard, Ingram, all these weapons we have to get after it.
All right, I had a chance to speak with the man who draws up the Big Blue game plan. I'm talking about second-year head coach Ben McAdoo.
All right, Coach, how different is it for you going into this, your second year as head coach, compared to where it was last year going into your first year as head coach?
Well, I think as a team, we understand the structure and function of everything we're trying to do week in and week out. It's important that we get off to a fast start here and it's really not about me, it's about the team and it's about the players.
Okay, about your team. What would you say, Ben, is the strength of your team?
The strength of our team is the team. We can play all the games as they unfold and have a chance to win each and every ball game. We're confident in all three phases, whether it's a defensive ball game and a field position game, or we have to score points on offense. We're comfortable playing each and every game as it unfolds, and we have a lot of confidence in all three phases.
Your receiving core is pretty impressive, and everybody talks about your high-powered air attack. But I'm sensing that your ground game has been kind of floating under the radar. You feel the same way?
Yeah, we want to be a balanced football team. We want to be a 50-50 football team in normal down and distance and second and long. And we're confident in our run game to get that thing going, get our big guys running downhill. And we know it creates running pass conflict for the linebackers on the other side of the ball. And that's what we need to do here early on.
Early in training camp, Ben, you had your team sit down together to watch the movie Detroit, which was about the '67 race riots. That wasn't strictly for entertainment value, was it?
No, you know, everything that's going on in the country now, there's some tough times, and we understand that our country's not perfect, and there's a history of that. And I think it's important that, you know, we had a chance to sit down as a team and talk about empathy and learn about empathy, and the movie really empowered our team, and it was an educational for our team. It was a somber experience sitting through the movie and having the guys come out of the room, but we had a chance to learn about history and learn about each other and empathize with what other people have gone through.
And finally, Coach, have you spoken to your team, either as a group or as individuals, about standing for the national anthem?
When we introduced the anthem last year and we talked through it this year, we talk about, you know, that our country, again, is not perfect, and really that's not, you know, what the anthem means for us. It's a way for us to show honor and respect for the men and women who've served and who sacrificed their time and their health and their life, so we have a chance to play and coach in this great game.
Still to come on Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level. How the Big Blue D plans to improve on their exceptional defensive effort from a year ago. Plus, we'll hear from the player considered the focal point of the Giants offense. Russ goes one-on-one with Odell Beckham Jr. Still ahead. You're watching Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level.
Been here for 8 years, you know, ups and downs in my career, but you know, at the end of the day, I manage. It just means a lot. You know, the organization love me, the fans love me. You know, I love the fans, I love the organization, and all I know is Giant football.
And you can say, folks, it's been a love affair for all parties concerned. Just this past offseason, the Giants signed Jason Pierre-Paul to a $62 million four-year deal, of which $40 million is guaranteed. So coupled with the acquisition of several key defensive players just a year ago, it's a distinct effort to continue the mantra, defense first, heading into 2017.
It's all about building off of the foundation that we had originally just built, and you know, forgetting about, at the same time, the things that we did last year. I mean, we really didn't accomplish anything. You know, we didn't make it to the big dance. We didn't even win a playoff game, so we really didn't do anything. So right now, our focus is coming in, you know, game one and getting ready.
Well, that's not completely accurate. The additions of Olivier Vernon, Damon Harrison, and Janoris Jenkins a year ago fortified the Big Blue D, putting them among the league's best in several top defensive categories. This defense was pretty darn good last season. Where does it have to improve, if it does?
In all areas. I think we're only #1 in a couple areas, you know, defensively. We didn't play the way that we wanted to play, or as well as we could have played against the run and as well against the pass. We have to improve our third down defense, our short yardage defense. We had the #1 red zone defense, but we still left a lot of plays out there. So I don't think anybody's feeling comfortable in any one area.
Well, there have been some changes to the makeup of the Giants' D. One spot which is rock solid in the secondary is strong safety, held by Landon Collins, named the winner of the Pro Football Focus Breakout Player Award in 2016.
He contact crazy, he know the scheme, and he just like to play football, man. He's a smart guy.
Your teammate, Jackrabbit, Janoris Jenkins, says, Landon's contact crazy.
Yeah.
Do you describe yourself as being contact crazy, and what is that?
I'm just a big hitter. I just tell you that much. I'm a big hitter. If coach will need me roll into the box, I could do that.
I just tell coaches, don't just line me up in the box. I don't want to mess with no linemen, you know.
Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo has been known to be innovative with his schemes. An illustration of this was dropping Olivier Vernon back in coverage against the Browns. So we asked Snacks what else Coach Spags might have up his sleeve.
Oh yeah, Spags is mixing it up pretty nice. So it's not completely the same defense we had last year. He's catering more this year to the players, and we have a little more freedom than we had in the past. He recognizes the personnel we have, so you know, I think you'll see some new things that people are like.
Is this team, or is this defense ready to become, or capable of becoming the best defense in the league?
You know, only time can tell on that one. You know, I like, you know, going out there and, you know, having our performance speak for itself, so we'll see.
Still to come on Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level. Our Giants insider Paul Dottino with his thoughts on how Big Blue stacks up in the rough and tumble NFC East. Plus, he's considered by many to be the most explosive player in the NFL. Russ goes one-on-one with the Giants star receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Coming up. You're watching Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level.
I mean, defense wins championships. As you see, we've been doing a great job last year and this preseason. So the defense is staying steadfast, and we just need to bring the offense along with it.
When it comes to breaking down matters of the Big Blue, this next guy is always in the know, covering the team on a daily basis as a radio beat reporter on WFAN. Our Erica Walker had a chance to sit down with our Giants insider, Paul Dottino.
Thanks, Duke. All right, Paul, I want to start with the rookie class. What are your thoughts on their expected contributions?
Well, they're going to have to contribute a lot, Erica. You know, you start with Tomlinson, who was the second-round pick, and the Giants certainly drafted him to be about as pro-ready as you can be out of Alabama. They think he will be in that defensive line rotation and certainly be a big force against the run. Now, beyond that, whatever contributions they get from the rest of the rookies right off the bat, you know, that's still to be determined. I think they'd like to get as much as they can out of Gallman during the course of the season as well in that running backs rotation. But for the moment, Tomlinson's the guy who's going to make the biggest impact.
And building on that rookie class, Evan Ingram in particular, what do you think about him?
Well, Ingram is a guy who, you know, played basically a receiver in college, and so they know that if they're going to get a full-body player, they've got to teach him how to block more. They're going to teach him more responsibilities. He's going to have to be able to play slot, inline, outside, a variety of positions. And they're throwing the kitchen sink at him. So far, it looks like he's picking stuff up.
Across the board, though, on paper, things look good. What do you think the intangibles are, though, that are needed in order to get this team to the next level?
You have a rabbit's foot for me? Because I'll tell you right now, they need a rabbit's foot to make sure they stay healthy. They've got a couple of key spots where they are very thin. We know the Giants starting 22 is going to be amongst the best in the league, but on defense, very thin at linebacker, very thin in the secondary. The Giants can ill afford serious injuries at those two spots because now they're going to be put in a scramble. And this is a defense that we think is going to be among the best in the league.
The NFC East, of course, a tough division. Who do you see being the biggest threat and challenge for this squad?
Well, that's a really hard question to answer because I really think this division's in flux. Each one of the four teams in the division have weaknesses. The problem becomes, how do you match up against your individual opponent? For example, the Giants match up well with Dallas, but don't match up well with Philadelphia. And so you're going to have a lot of these teams knocking heads, knocking each other off. I do think that the Redskins could potentially be the team that gives the Giants the biggest fight for the division title.
Well, this year's free agent signings weren't as dramatic or as high-priced as a year ago. The G-Men did sign two key veterans in an effort to bolster their offense. Wide receiver Brandon Marshall, who last played for the Crosstown Jets, and tight end / fullback Rhett Ellison, who comes over from the Vikings. For Ellison, coming to a team that has a winning tradition was definitely a key factor in becoming a Giant.
You never know, what kind of team you have until you hit November and you kind of see where you're at. I think just the opportunity of a franchise that's won Super Bowls, they know how to win Super Bowls, a quarterback that's won Super Bowls and knows how to win Super Bowls. the coaching staff that has won Super Bowls. It definitely was a very unique opportunity, and I was excited to be a part of it.
As for Marshall, his reason for coming to the Big Blue was easy after being the focus of defensive schemes for years. He looks forward to being a secondary target to Odell Beckham Jr.
Absolutely, that's why I came here, because of him. You know, I'm tired of getting double coverage and viced in the red zone. I'll let him, you know, freaking carry all the weight.
Still to come on Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level. Odell Beckham Jr. talks about what playing football means to him. Russ goes one-on-one with the man many consider the most explosive player in the NFL. Next. You're watching Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level.
All right, earlier this preseason, Giants fans held their collective breaths big time as their star wide receiver, Odell Beckham Jr., went down with what appeared at the time to be a very, very serious injury. It happened on a play in the second preseason game against the Browns. Fortunately, though, while missing some time, OBJ will be coming back without that serious injury. As for whether or not he'll be suiting up for next week's season opener in Dallas remains to be seen. I recently had a chance, though, to sit down and get an up-close and personal look with the man many consider to be the most explosive player in the game today.
You got a taste of the playoffs last season. Unfortunately, it left you with a bitter taste. How long has it lingered, and is it still lingering?
It's going to be there forever. You know, I was a part of history. You think back and you think of these traditional teams, the Giants and the Packers at Lambeau Field. It's the most amazing opportunity, you know, and I fell short. And it's unfortunate, you know, but in order to succeed, you have to fail. And with me, I'm one of those guys who has to fail badly. I have to, you know, learn my lesson the hard way. It's just how I learn. So for me, looking back on it as hard as it is, now I could take it as a positive and I can use it to my benefit and to my advantage.
It's definitely a motivating factor for you.
I mean, there's no question.
All right, when it comes to your receiving corps, there's no question you are the main man. But talk to me how excited you are about the entire group.
I mean, you get a guy who I've watched for a long time since he was at Chicago when he was down in Miami, you know, big brother, Brandon Marshall. And just to see what he's capable of doing, has everything we need. Young Shep looks better, you know, the game's slowing down, he's developing. He's getting better each and every day. So to me personally, I'm excited about it.
How about you and Eli? You've been together now for 3 seasons. Is it just a matter of you know what each other is doing all the time?
I've been throwing with him since we were a sophomore. It's just 2 guys who love football, 2 guys who love the work, who love to critique, coach, and figure out exactly how to get better each and every day, and that's what we're doing.
You're obviously coming into your prime, and Eli is closer to the end. Do you ever think about the window that you two have together is kind of, have X amount of time?
Absolutely. You know, I talk to him about it all the time. But to me, Eli's still in his prime. You know what I mean? He's got a couple more good ones in him.
You turned a lot of heads when you made the statement that you would like to be the highest paid player in the league. But your owner, Mr. Mara, backed you up and said you should feel that way. How'd that make you feel?
You know, it's a positive for him to say that, but that's just how I feel. I can't help how I feel. So the statement came out, you know, he backed me on it, and he said, you know, he might not be, but you know, we plan on doing something, and honestly, that's really God's will.
You play under a lot of scrutiny with high expectations. You seem to thrive on it.
Yeah, it's definitely tough, you know, when it's all the time. It's on a consistent basis. Any little thing is everything, and saying something is saying too much, and not saying something is not saying enough. You know, it almost feels like there's no right. You just got to go about it. You just got to keep continuing to live your life. You know, at the end of the day, I said this, football is everything to me right now, but it's not everything.
Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely a very special young man, a tremendous talent with a unique personality to match.
Indeed. All right, Russ, when I look at this Giants season, I think it all comes down to the offensive line. We know they have a special defense. They have playmakers on offense. The key to making that offense go is that offensive line. This could be a 12-4 team, even a 13-3 team. If that line protects.
Well, the line has to protect because you got to keep Eli upright. But to me, this season is dictated by the defense, Duke, simply because I think the defense can be the best in the league, and in the end, defense wins.
All right. All that's set now to start playing football games. It all gets underway next Sunday night in Texas when the Giants open the 2017 season on the road against their bitter division rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. That's a wrap, but our Big Blue preview special, Giants Kickoff 2017, the next level.
Be sure, folks, to catch our Giants Kickoff show airing Saturdays when Fox 5 broadcasts the Giants games on Sundays. So for our entire Giants Kickoff crew, I'm Russ Salzberg.
And I'm Duke Castiglione, wishing you a great Giants football season.